Operation White Noise is the upcoming conclusion to Year 2 of Rainbow Six Siege, and with that we will be getting 3 new operators who all bring something new to the table and provide some interesting tweaks to the current gameplay we already have. In today's video, I'll be detailing the unique ability of each operator, showcasing all of their weapons and attachments, how they perform with weapon recoil, and last but certainly not least, each character's synergies and counters. Also, a quick thank you to my friend Coda for helping me record a few of these clips. You guys can find his links in the top of the description, but without further ado, let's get into today's video. First up, we have Dokebi, the South Korean attacker releasing with this operation. She is a 2 armor, 2 speed, and her ability is the Logic Bomb. This is limited to only 2 uses per round, but this allows her to hack every defender's phone, causing it to emit a noise until the operator takes a moment to disable their device, and on top of that, it temporarily disables camera access for the defenders. This, of course, has several uses, the first being that it allows the attackers a chance to locate defenders from the sound their phone is making until it's disabled. Second, it makes defenders vulnerable for a few seconds as they deactivate their phones, and finally, if Dokebi is in a match, any defender killed will drop their phone, and she can then retrieve their phone and all attackers will have access to defender cameras. This can be prevented by either destroying your team's cameras if she gains access, or destroying your teammates' phones if they're killed during a match. Dokebi brings an interesting ability to the game and forces players to take a few extra actions to safeguard themselves from the attackers. With a new operator, many may wonder what are her counters and synergies with attackers and defenders. For attackers, Dokebi works incredibly well with a good IQ. When a defender pulls out their phone to disable it, if IQ has her gadget up, she can detect that phone and kill them through a wall or call out their position, and even help Dokebi track down operator phones from previous kills. Jackal is also helpful at tracking down an operator's exact position and allowing Dokebi to retrieve their device. As far as counters go, they are actually few and far between. First is Echo, who is completely immune to her Logic Bomb, and it is only affected by her gaining access to the cameras. Her second actual counter is Mute, and this is incredibly situational. If you place a Mute Jammer and stand within its radius, your phone will not be affected by the Logic Bomb. So unless you plan on sitting right atop a Mute Jammer, this is going to be 100% situational when it comes to being used. So, with her ability out of the way, what types of weapons can we expect on this operator? I'm going to briefly go over all of her weapons and attachments and showcase their natural recoil through rapid fire and focused burst with no grip attachments. I will be doing this for every operator, so let's start with Dokebi. First, we have the marksman rifle, the MK14 EBR, which is actually a very good semi-auto in comparison to the others available in the game. For sight attachments, we have the red dot, holographic, reflex, and ACOG. Barrel attachments are the suppressor, flash hider, compensator, and muzzle brake. Grip attachments are your traditional vertical foregrip and angled grip, and a laser sight for an underbarrel attachment. Her second primary is a new type of shotgun that is actually a beast of a weapon and doesn't work how you would normally expect a shotgun to. The Boss G 12.2 holds 2 shots, but fires a slug that can kill an enemy from an insane distance. Check this clip out on Presidential Plane. This weapon has insane killing range, and if you're accurate enough to land shots, you'll be rewarded accordingly. Another crazy thing you can do with the Boss G is put holes into the windows on Presidential Plane, and you can then shoot out of it with any weapon, as long as you're shooting through the holes. The only other weapon that can shoot through these windows is Glaz's Sniper, so this shotgun is definitely going to add some interesting gunfights into the mix when Glaz and these new operators meet. As far as attachments go for the shotgun, you have sights that are everything but ACOG, you have both grip attachments, and a laser sight for the underbarrel. For secondary weapons, we have the C75 Auto Machine Pistol, and the only attachment for this weapon is a suppressor, no grips or sights, only the suppressor is able to be equipped. Her other weapon, the SMG-12, offers a bit more in terms of attachments. For sights, we have red dot, holographic, and reflex, both grip attachments, and a laser sight. So, with weapons and attachments out of the way, how do these weapons perform in regards to recoil? First, we have her MK14. As you can see, even for a semi-auto, it can be fired relatively fast with very little noticeable recoil. I personally am not a fan of marksman rifles, but Dokebi's plays a little different than the others we already have, and I've really enjoyed using it. For the Boss G shotgun, all you need to do is aim. Your bullet goes exactly where you're aiming, but whatever you do, do not hip fire this weapon, because that's when its accuracy completely falls apart. For both machine pistols, when rapid fired, they have abysmal recoil, but it can be worked in your favor. Aiming at the chest level and rapid firing will cause the weapon to kick up for a headshot, leading to some quick and easy kills. But when these weapons are burst fired, they actually perform quite well. I've leaned more towards the SMG-12 with my time in the technical test server, but of course you guys may enjoy either one. So that about wraps up Dokebi. Overall, a solid operator with an interesting loadout and ability that is really going to bring some new plays to the table. We're going to move on to the other South Korean operator, Vigil the Defender. Vigil, a 1 armor 3 speed, also brings a new and interesting ability to the team with his electronic rendering cloak. This allows him to completely cloak himself to drones and any cameras that have been compromised by Dokebi. His ability works in similar fashion to Caveira's Silent Step. It can be activated and you can roam around for a limited time, but the effect is ended as soon as you shoot or anything of that nature. While using the cloak, any effective drone will show a white light instead of the normal red on them, and to a drone user they will have a white effect bordering their screen if a Vigil is nearby in his cloak. Even though he is invisible to drones and cameras while his ability is up, he is still completely visible to other operators if they happen to see him. Vigil doesn't really have any sort of good synergy from what I've seen in the technical test, but he does have a few counters that will really dictate how much you use your cloaking. With his gadget being an electronic, Thatcher's EMP grenades will affect his cloak. IQ can detect him using his cloak like any other device, and if a Twitch drone shoots him while he is cloaked, it will deactivate and allow the drones and cameras to see where he is. For weapons, he shares all of the same with Dokebi, but instead of a marksman rifle, Vigil has the K1A submachine gun. Overall, not a bad weapon, and of course is better with burst fire in terms of longer range gunfights, but let's go ahead and take a look at the attachments. The K1A has access to all sights but ACOG. It has access to all barrel attachments, both grip attachments, and a laser sight underbarrel. As far as recoil goes on the K1A, rapid firing causes it to have a very quick vertical kick, so long range sprays aren't very useful, but using a focused burst fire has a very tight recoil pattern that has actually proven to be fairly accurate at longer distances. This is the only weapon difference between Vigil and Dokebi, so all other weapons will perform identical to each other and have the same attachments. With both South Korean operators out of the way, we're going to dive into our third and final operator, Sofia, who is also a sister to Ayla from the current season, Operation Blood Orchid. Sofia is an interesting character, 2 armor, 2 speed, and her ability is really something we've seen before, but it's able to be done in a new way, and she also has a hidden trick up her sleeve. Her ability is the KS-79 Lifeline, a double barrel grenade launcher that carries 2 impact grenades and 4 concussion grenades. The impact grenades and concussions work as they would if you're throwing them. Simply shoot a wall and it'll explode, leaving a fairly large hole for you to shoot through, and concussions will daze their target like normal. The KS-79 allows for a bit more long-range breaching on a non-reinforced wall, so she can be used for opening holes from afar, allowing for more long-range attackers to do some work. Sofia also has one additional ability that can and probably will save your life. Whenever Sofia is down but not killed, she can pick herself back up once and continue fighting, but the only downside to this is that she stands up with only 1 HP, so death can come quickly if you don't play it carefully after standing up. As far as synergies and counters, she can work well with any operator, opening up walls and stunning targets, allowing for pushes into objectives and things like that, but when it comes to counters, Ayla is actually a counter to her concussion grenades. They both recover 50% faster from concussions, so if Sofia is hit with an Ayla mine, she will recover quicker than a regular operator, and the same for Ayla. If she's hit with Sofia's concussion grenades, she will recover quicker than her allies. Also, with her ability being a projectile, Jaeger ADS will of course counter them if not taken care of first. Moving on to weapons, Sofia has 2 drastically different weapons in her primary spot. The first is the LMG-E, and like any LMG available in the game, it comes with a massive ammo capacity and insane amounts of recoil, which I'll showcase in just a moment. For sights, she has everything including ACOG, all barrel attachments, only a vertical grip, and a laser sight under barrel for the weapon. Her other primary is the M762 assault rifle, and this has been my go-to weapon when using her during the technical test, and I highly recommend this over her LMG, simply because of accuracy. For attachments, she has all sights, all barrel attachments, both grips, and a laser sight available to equip. Moving on to her secondary, she has the RG-15 pistol with an attached sight, the same one her sister Ayla uses on the defending team, and with the recent changes to pistol accuracy and recoil coming in white noise, this is actually a great weapon you can rely on. So how does each weapon perform with recoil? As you can see here, the LMG-E has insane recoil, going vertical incredibly fast, but that's just with the rapid fire. Firing small bursts will obviously be more accurate, but I personally find this weapon to overall be lackluster. A large ammo capacity is nice, but incredibly unnecessary in the grand scheme of things. The M762, however, is a more grounded weapon with much more manageable recoil and a very accurate burst fire in comparison. And last, but certainly not least, we have the RG-15. It's semi-automatic, so properly timing your shots will help maintain accuracy, but as I stated earlier, white noise will feature some changes to your pistol recoil and accuracy, so these are much more a viable option than they ever were before. With that being said, this brings us to the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed it or found it helpful in any way, please do consider hitting that like button to show your support, as it does help the channel out a great deal. And if you guys want to see more high quality Rainbow Six content and more here on the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. We are relatively new to covering Siege, but we have been playing it for a while, so if you guys would like to see certain types of videos on the game here on the channel, let me know down in the comment section below. Once again, thank you guys for watching today's video. My name is Morgan, and I will see you next time.